These might be the most underrated slide wheel on the market. I mean, when you ask for slide wheel recommendations, you typically hear Powell Snakes, remember Collective Hoots, maybe Optimos, but you sorely hear EZ Hawgs. And I seriously think everybody is missing out. Okay. Enough with the hype. If these wheels are actually so good, why do so few of us know about them? If they are so good, why have they flown under the radar for so long? But before we get to that, here's a quick summary on how they perform. These are a wheel I'd highly recommend to a slide beginner or for someone looking for a wheel that's really easy to slide. All you need is a deliberate nudge and there they go. They break traction at pretty much any speed. Your sliding attempts are pretty much guaranteed to be successful with this wheel. And when they slide forever, barely slowing you down at all. This allows for really big stand-up slides, as often demonstrated by Clayton Authors on his Instagram, or allows for hands-down slides that are really long, allowing you to perfect your slide control. However, them being easy to slide isn't a good thing. It kind of contributes to how difficult they are to control. So if you just push them into the slide, you don't always get the best control, and this is most noticeable with stand-up slides. For best results and best control with these wheels, you have to feather them into the slide just as you would any other wheel. So whilst they're easy to slide, you still need to be on point with your control. Good news, you only get this a bit difficult to control part once you get past the rounded lip. When fresh, these wheels are very forgiving to slide, and the line between gripping and sliding isn't as abrupt. Durability, acceleration, and roll speed are all pretty good on this wheel as well. These would be very at home on a cruiser board or on any freeride board. Okay, as I did say, these wheels have very much flown under the radar, but why is that? And the reason is they are primarily marketed as a cruising wheel, not as a slide wheel. I mean, Lanyards does briefly mention in the product description that these are pretty good at sliding, but I've never really seen Lanyards video marketing them as a slide wheel. I mean, by comparison, when you look up stuff about the race wheels like the Cheetah Hogs, you see a ton of race footage on the website, and on the social media side you see a lot of stuff about the race wheels. But this isn't really a case for the EZ Hawgs. So yeah, it kind of makes sense to me why a lot of people wouldn't buy them for sliding and why they're so underrated. Most people look at these and think, hey, that's a cruiser wheel. And I think it's a bit of a wasted opportunity. These are a really good slide wheel. The EZ Hawgs actually accelerate pretty well, and I think this is because of the small size, how narrow they are, and how lightweight they generally are. It doesn't take a lot to get them moving. All you need is a few pushes. And they don't have the fastest top speed, which is kind of expected for their size, but nonetheless, they were pretty quick when pointed down a hill. When it comes to rough roads, these wheels suffer a little bit. The Fatty Hogs felt a little bit better over rougher roads. These just reflected a bit more road vibration, which is kind of expected for their size, and whilst they still went over cracks and pebbles, you could really feel it in your feet. Surprisingly, they didn't lose too much speed over rough roads. Only really had beef with them when I'd skate over rough roads by pushing, but when skating over the rough roads downhill wasn't that much of an issue. But when the road is smooth, they perform magnificently with fast roll speed and decent momentum. These wheels have a very icy slide. When you do break traction with them, they just want to glide and not really slow you down at all. But somehow they also have a sort of thane slide. It's kind of like a mix between like thane and on top of the pavement type of slide feel. And surprisingly, they have pretty decent control in the slide too, and this is surprising to me given how slidey they are. However, once you wear past that lip and the lip becomes more square, or rather more sharp, you lose some of that. You then get a more abrupt transition into the slide, and you then only get that nice feel and that control once you feather them into the slide, once you kind of bring them to the edge of traction instead of just forcing to break them out into the slide. This was most apparent to me in the stand-up slide, and I talk more about it shortly. So yeah, once I got past that lip, I felt like I had to be more in control of the wheel, more careful with setup carving and doing everything properly for my stand-up slides in order to get sort of nice control and a nice feeling. Otherwise, they just felt kind of uncontrollable and they would always ice out easily, but that would only happen if I just kind of forced them out into the slide and didn't really care about whether I was setup carving or doing the right things you should be doing before a slide. Yeah, icing out on these wheels is actually surprisingly easy, but that only happens if you sort of force them into the slide slide, you know, if you bring them to the edge of traction, as I've said so many times before, it's really easy to keep them under control. So yeah, the kick out and the hookup with the square lip can sometimes feel a little bit sudden, like kick them out and they suddenly break into the slide, or they suddenly hook up, and it's just very difficult to find that edge of traction. And as I have said, it's especially difficult if you don't set up carve, if you don't do all that decompress, compress, whatever stuff that I pointed out to you guys in the slide tutorials rather. But yeah, that's just something to keep in mind as you wear past the lip. The feel of the slide changes and might likely have to be more on point with the technique. Another cool thing is that these wheels actually thane a little bit, and this depends on the road that you're on. Some of the roads that I've skated these on, they haven't really thaned, but others have. But despite that, they're actually quite durable. I'd say they're not the most durable wheel, but they're pretty damn durable. I mean, I've been skating this on and off for a while and hasn't worn that much. I've worn past the lip, but it hasn't had like that much significant wear. Another bonus of being durable is that they're resistant to flat spotting. This means if you slide them at 90 degrees, they're not instantly gonna flat spot. Of course, if you're adamant about sliding at 90, you are gonna flat spot them. I don't think any wheel would stand that, but yeah. And given how slidey they are, of course, they are amazing for big stand-up slides or just simply long drawn-out slides. And if I had to compare, they have about similar slowdown power to the Powell Snakes, which isn't much at all if we're being honest. And yeah, all those features make these really one of the best slide wheels for beginners. They're super easy to slide, you don't need much speed to do it, they break traction easily, and yeah, they're very good choices to learn the sliding basics on. I also think they're really good for learning stand-up slides. They have the rounded lip initially, which makes them really easy to slide and very forgiving, but once you get past that, they become a little bit more difficult to control in the slide, which just allows them to punish bad habits and make sure that you're only progressing and only getting good stand-up slides if you have good habits. So I think they're a good wheel to progress on. Some people might disagree, but yeah. Another thing I want to touch on is, are these wheels good for cruising? And I'd say yeah, kinda. I mean, they accelerate pretty well, they roll fast. They're especially good if you want to sort of do slides on your cruiser or want to do tricks, because they're pretty lightweight as well. Only thing I'd say they're not the best for is they reflect a bit of road vibration. So if you want something more comfortable, then something like the EZ Hawgs would be a bit better. Those things absorb a lot of road vibration and they're really good. But yeah, if the features I've described sound good to you, then yeah, go for it. You're not going to regret it. Link to buy these wheels in the description. It's an affiliate link, helps me make a bit of money off the review at no added cost to you, of course. Are these wheels good for dancing? Kinda, yeah. They're lightweight, they accelerate quickly and hold their speed really well on smooth roads, and yeah, I'd say it's a pretty good option. In fact, it comes stock on most of the Land Yachts dancers, so there's that. If you're looking for a comparison of the EZ Hawgs, Chubby Hawgs and Fatty Hawgs, check out the accompanying write-up, link in the description. I also have like a comparison chart that you can check out. Also, my write-up is a lot more in-depth and I answer some of the questions you guys had from Instagram, so do check it out, you will love it. The first thing I didn't like about this wheel is how deceiving they are. Yes, initially they slide really easily, but when you get that square lip, like yeah, they do break into the slide really easily, but you still need to be on point to get the best control and the best feeling in the slide. So yeah, there's that. The other thing I didn't like is how small they are. This just made them feel very uncomfortable over rougher roads, and I think a little bit of height would sort of smoothen out the ride and just make them feel a little bit better. It also allow them to go a little bit faster and hold their speed for a little bit longer. I would really like to try a much bigger EZ Hawg. Another case for the wheel being a bit taller is it would mean we could have a much rounder lip for much longer, and yeah, that would just be really nice. It also mean a lot more urethane to go through, so there's that. Yeah, when this wheel has the rounded lip, it performs really well, and I just like to have that performance for much longer. That's pretty much the end of the video. Thank you guys for watching. I know this video was a little bit shorter than some of the others, but if you want more information, if you want more stuff, do check out the accompanying write-up, link in the description. And yeah, that's pretty much the video. Big thanks to the patrons as always. Thanks to everybody who's recently joined. Much love to you guys. Big thanks to the subscribers. We're really near 4,000 subs, so that would be really cool to hit that milestone. And yeah, if you guys have any dissimilar comments about your experience with the wheels, leave a comment, or if you have a question, do check out the write-up, it might be answered, or leave a comment as well. And yeah, thanks for watching the review. See you guys in the next one.
Okay, let me see. Oh shit.